Welcome to the a Cool Kids special 97th Academy Awards prediction discussion.
Wait a minute, Mark. What's
What?
wrong with this picture? Me not hosting the predictions, and this guy is.
I thought I was hosting the predictions, and you're hosting the watch party.
That's the joke. That's the joke.
Oh, okay. All right. Anyway, so how we switch it up every year. So this time we're back to me hosting the predictions for stream, and Rob will host the watch party this year.
Yep.
Sorry, a little too glittery there, but so anyway, we'll go ahead and get started right away. You know pretty much how this works. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. And our first cat, we're just going to start from the bottom. Over here. With supporting actress. So, and the nominees are, we start with.
So when I did the banners, I put them. I put them in the order of how they were announced the last time.
Gotcha. My bad. All right. So anyway, so Best Supporting Actress, and the nominees are, the nominees here are for Best Supporting Actress. We have, for Best Supporting Actress, we have Zoe Saldana, Ariana Grande, Isabella Rossellini, Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Isabella Rossellini for Conclave, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, and Monica Barbaro for A Complete Unknown. Honestly, having seen all of them, I could say that they all did a really fantastic job. All of them gave standout performances. Even though if it's fallen in my estimation, some, I'd say even Zoe Saldana did at least do good in Emilia Perez. Fellas, what are your predictions? What do you think is the who would you like to see win, and who do you think will win?
Well, why don't you go first, Mark, and then we'll go in order.
All right.
Let's go in order.
All right. So I think of the 5 nominees, Zoe Saldana is probably going to be the winner. She's won pretty much everything else so far. But I would really, really love to see Isabella Rossellini win. I know one of the guys on Gold Derby, he actually thinks Isabella Rossellini will win because he's seen a bunch of the anonymous ballots apparently have been filled in with Isabella Rossellini, but the others were just kind of scorning him and saying, "Oh, you're crazy," because Zoe Saldana, that doesn't mean anything beside the fact that Zoe Saldana has won pretty much everything else so far for Best Supporting Actress. So she's clearly the favorite here. I think she's going to take it home. So, and Isabella Rossellini, I would love to see her win, but that's what I think. So anyway, John, what do you think?
Well, I have the same thoughts as you. Who I think will win. Saldana has cleaned house. There's been, in terms of actor and actress, there has been some a Timothy Chalamet here, a Mikey Madison there, kind of thing that throws up the blanket statement of everything. Zoe Saldana has cleaned house, BAFTA, Critics' Choice, Golden Globe, pretty much everything Saldana has gotten. So that's who I think is going to win. I have not seen the movie, but I've heard nothing but great, even from the people that don't like the movie, have said that she is fantastic.
She really is. So, she really is. She's the
best. With that, in terms of who I'd like to see win, I don't have a ton in this race. I think all of them are good actresses. I wouldn't mind seeing any of them win. But even before I saw it yesterday, I would like to see Felicity Jones win for The Brutalist. I think finally seeing the movie yesterday kind of helped my cause a little bit because I thought she did a great job, even though she was really only in the second half of the movie.
Yeah.
I thought she did a very, very, very good job. She definitely felt reminiscent of Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, kind of a similar vibe. And
yes,
I think she did an extraordinary job. And I like how after like a lot of kind of not great movies that she's like really now like on the fast track to become like really, really great and one of the better actresses in Hollywood. So yeah, I hope she gets it. But Zoe Saldana is probably going to take the gold.
Probably is. Yeah. All right. Right, dude.
Okay. So for what I would love to see win, I honestly had Ariana Grande from Wicked to win. I thought she did a fantastic job as Glinda or Galinda, you know. However, the choice is kind of obvious for me. It's going to be Zoe Saldana from Emilia Perez. And even though I may not like that movie, I can admit that she at least did a good job in that movie. So, I mean, as John said, she pretty much swept the supporting actress nominees for the other award shows. So it's a given that she's going to get it.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much. Yeah. So, and Devin, last but not least.
Honestly, I would like to see it go to Felicity Jones because she really, even though like, yeah, she was in the second half of The Brutalist, she wasn't like a huge part of the movie. She still did an amazing job. I would like to see her win, but yeah, Zoe Saldana has been getting a lot of the awards for the other ceremonies. So honestly, if it went to her, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, she was one of the few like redeeming parts of that movie.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I think all the actresses did really good. I really liked all their performances. One that we haven't mentioned, Monica Barbaro. I thought she gave a really underrated performance in The Complete Unknown. I mean, she's kind of she hasn't got the same attention that Timothy Chalamet and Edward Norton did. But I mean, she did really, really fantastic. I thought portraying it's Joan Baez, you know, especially since she's actually still alive, you know. So I mean, but yeah, I thought she did a really good job. But I would like to see any one of them win. But I mean, it's going to be good. So I'm pretty sure. All right, next up is Best Supporting Actor, and we have Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain.
Banner.
What?
Oh, change the banner.
You're right. Banner. My bad. Oops. We didn't. Wait. I don't think you put Best. Oh, Best Supporting Actor. There it is. There it is. All right. All right. So Best Supporting Actor. My bad. Thank you very much, fellas. My bad. So for Best Supporting Actor, we have another one who's pretty much as much of a lock as you could get. Kieran Culkin, A Real Pain. And that is the one I think will win it, honestly. Guy Pearce for The Brutalist. Edward Norton for A Complete Unknown. Yura Borisov for Anora. And Jeremy Strong for The Apprentice. Again, they all gave really, really great performances. Any one of them would be great picks. But I think Kieran Culkin will win it, and honestly, I think he deserves it because that kid gave a really, really great performance. So in a difficult role too, that required a kind of a really layered performance, and I think he did a great job with it. So, what do you guys think?
For me, I think who I think will win is similar with Zoe Saldana. Kieran Culkin has cleaned house.
Yeah.
He's probably going to get it, which is funny because I thought for a while Jeremy Strong was the favorite to win.
Yeah.
But it seems like Kieran Culkin is the favorite now. And you know, it's kind of cool. Nice to see, you know, the Culkins doing okay after like dealing with their horrid childhood. So, you know, Kieran Culkin getting awards, Macaulay Culkin being happy with a family. Just kind of doing his own smaller things. So Kieran Culkin, it's nice to see, and I'm sure he gave a great performance. I haven't seen the movie yet. So I'm sure it's great. In terms of who I'd want to win, even though he's apparently a fucking gigantic asshole IRL, I'd like to see Edward Norton win for A Complete Unknown.
I'd love to
I
see
think I don't know, like I feel like he's just for a while he was just I feel like after Incredible Hulk, he just kind of had this lull in his career where he just kind of wasn't doing anything much and like did a bunch of but then like I feel like Birdman and Motherless Brooklyn kind of brought him back, so it's nice for him to see like to get that, and I've heard it's a great performance, so I'd like to see him win. In addition to the fact he had better leader makeup than the MCU, so there is that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
he was just missing the mustache, and he would have been a much better leader than the actual toxic Avenger looking ass that they had in the movie.
Exactly. Yeah, not the best thing, exactly. So, so right, dude, Rob, what do you think, man?
All right, so for best supporting actor, I'm honestly in agreement with you, Mark. I think Kieran Culkin's pretty much got this one in the bag. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I think, and I do agree, I think he should be able to he should win. So I'm putting down Kieran Culkin for both.
Yeah.
So, because he was great in a Real Pain. I know some people don't like his character and all, but I think that was actually kind of the point, point of his character.
Exactly.
So I thought he did.
You're not supposed to like his character.
I mean, exactly.
Exactly. That's the point, because I mean, he on the one hand he's really two bites. Yeah, exactly. On the one hand, he's really charming. His character is like really fucking charming, but at the same time, he's a colossal asshole. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, but
he is.
Yeah,
but I'm picking Kieran Culkin for both.
Yeah. So yeah. And my politically challenged metalhead brother.
I would like to see Jeremy Strong win for The Apprentice, but I think they are going to give it to Kieran Culkin because he has been, like with Zoe Saldana, he's been sweeping all the awards. And honestly, what you two were saying, like Kieran Culkin was actually like my least favorite part of A Real Pain.
Oh wow!
Sure. Oh, that's the point. That's the point. He's supposed to be unlikable. That doesn't. You're gonna have a shitty character, but at least give him some charm. I just found him to be really unlikable and insufferable. Like he was actively like the worst part of the movie for me.
Which is kind of saying something considering Jesse Eisenberg is his co-star, and we all know how insufferable Jesse Eisenberg is.
He was really good in it.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, like he really was. But every time like Kieran Culkin came on screen, every time I'm just saying, can someone kill this guy, please?
Yeah.
Like I couldn't fucking stand him.
Well, you know what? But I mean, I don't see. I know that's a big hump for you always, because I mean, you always have that. If you don't like a character, you're really going to have a problem like you do, So I mean, I know that's always a big hump for you, but for me, I just try to take a step back and say, okay, I really hate this character, but honestly, for me, I realize at some point, you know what, that means the character. So a lot of times that means the actor's doing a damn good job. Because I mean, especially if you're not.
It really does.
Really means they're doing a damn good job. I mean, I would love to. Don't get me wrong. Jeremy Strong. As much as I hated watching The Apprentice, just because I hate that orange asshole, but I mean, he did do a really damn good job. He did a damn good job.
Yeah.
My God.
Jeremy, I mean, like you could pretty much. Yeah, I was gonna say you could probably say the same thing for Jeremy Strong because the real Roy Cohen was a big asshole,
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. He's a perfect fascist. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Yeah. I mean.
Let's not get into too much politics.
No. I don't want to get into that. But
yeah,
I mean,
let's
just say. But no, he did do a really good job. Jeremy Strong, damn good actor. I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he was the best part of Green Lantern. But I mean, come on, man. So,
wait.
I mean,
who the fuck did Jeremy Strong play in Green Lantern?
I was gonna say I don't remember him being.
Wait a second. him confused. Wait, I'm getting him confused with some other bald guy.
Mark Strong is
Peter
who you're
Peter
thinking of.
Sarsgaard, because that's who played Hector
No,
Hammond.
Mark. I think you're thinking of Mark Strong.
Mark Strong. I'm getting
the guy that was in the Kingsman movies.
You're right. I'm getting him confused with Mark Strong. You're right. But Jeremy Strong did do a really good job. I would always, Ed Norton, John, is one of my very, very favorite actors. I would always love to see him win no matter what. And he does do a great job as Woody Guthrie. He is fantastic in the film. But still.
Wait, I thought he played Pete Seeger.
Pete Seeger, you're right. Pete Seeger, he played Pete Seeger. God, what is wrong with me? I'm getting everything.
You know what? It's been a long day. It's fine.
It has
good.
It has been a long day.
It's
but,
bro. It's like at this point for me, the dementia's kicking in. It's fine.
Yeah, it was. Oh God, I always forget his name because he was in BVS and he was also in one of my favorite series. He was in *Halt and Catch Fire*, and I forget the actor's name who played Woody Guthrie, but good actor. But either way, any one of them could take it. But that was, it's going to be Kieran. Let's be honest. Guy Pearce also did a great job. You're a Norse. That's one we haven't mentioned. He was really good as a Norse. He was like the second best part of the movie after her to me. I mean, he was really solid there. But
Absolutely.
Yeah. But I think next we have just go starting from the bottom of the list and working our way up. We have next we have Best Production Design, and the nominees.
Banner.
Oops. Again, I'm just not there today, guys.
It's fine. At least your camera's working.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez. Best Production Design.
You don't look like.
What's that?
No, nothing. Go on ahead.
Okay. All right. For Best Production Design, we have the Brutalist, we have Conclave, we have Dune Part 2, we have Nosferatu, and we have Wicked. And honestly, I think this is Wicked's to lose. Personally, I think Wicked is going to win this more than likely. I think this is another one that's probably a lock. But and who I would like to see, honestly, I would love to see Dune Part 2 win it for production design. But Wicked does have really good production design as well. So I mean, I can't deny they deserve it. But that's for me. Well, what do you guys think?
For me, I would love, being the horror guy and Robert Eggers finally getting nominated for a lot of awards with his newest film. I would love to see Nosferatu win. Yeah. This isn't going to be the last time I'm going to say that. I would love to see Nosferatu win, but I know with the Academy's hatred towards horror, it's probably not going to get anything. With that, I genuinely believe, considering how, close to exact they got it to the actual Vatican, I think that'll get them points. And I think Conclave is going to get production design. Because I remember reading so much about they weren't allowed to actually film inside the Vatican for obvious reasons. They might find the room of underage boys in there. So they couldn't film there, but they from the people that work there that are there, when they saw the movie, they're like, it's almost exactly with some bits of drama to make it look more cinematic, but outside of that, it's it's a near perfect recreation. I think that'll get them points, and it's just it's genuinely great production design. It looks
really is, really
lavish and great and just very well done. So I think Conclave is going to get it.
It's a good point. Excellent point. All right, dude.
All right, so for production design, this one, I think this one's going to go to Wicked easily, because it's production design. It's been going to Wicked for the other award shows and things like that. And I would be happy if it won. But my personal pick, if I honestly was honestly kind of tough because there were two movies that I was really on the fence about, and I kept changing over and I think I'm going to have to say my personal pick probably would be Nosferatu, but a close second would be Doom Part 2. I would be happy. I was like literally going back and forth between those two because they were just so amazing.
Yeah,
so
they all had great production design.
They did. They did.
Yeah.
So
I mean, even
yeah,
the Brutalists.
But
I
either
didn't love the Brutalists as much as everybody else did. You know what I mean? I liked that.
I liked it. Maybe didn't love it, but I liked it.
Yeah. I just thought it went a little bit too long, but I mean,
I felt
it did have great production design. I mean,
yeah, I can't deny that. But I would think that Wicked's pretty much got this one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm like with John. I'm gonna keep bringing it up because the irony, I am wearing the shirt.
Nice.
Nosferatu was my favorite movie of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to win production design, but they're easily gonna they're definitely gonna give it to Wicked.
Yeah. And you can't deny Wicked did have really great production design. I mean, I was especially like the Emerald City, I gotta say, looked really damn good in that movie.
It did, but it's just the thing that you always have to appreciate with Robert Eggers is always his accuracy.
Oh yeah, dear God, yeah, Jesus Christ, and really, yeah, he does. He is extremely detailed with his production design, always. So, but yeah, they all really had great production design. Again, I mean, I can't fault any of them. But all right, on to the next one. So, best original screenplay. I got it right this time. Best original screenplay, fellas. And the nominees are for best original screenplay, Anora, The Brutalist, A Real Pain, September 5th, and The Substance. And of those, best original screenplay, I think Anora is the favorite, and I think that's going to win. A Real Pain could upset it possibly, but I think Anora's to lose, and I think that's the one I would like to see win. They all had really good, but I mean, they all had really good original screenplays. But I mean, I'd say Anora, because Anora was just a really, really good screenplay. So, but that's my thoughts anyway. What do you think, John?
Being the horror guy, I would like to see The Substance win.
Yeah.
Even though I've come to not really care for the ending, I think it's still a very, very, very well written screenplay, and I would like to see that win. But I think Anora is going to get it. I think if it doesn't get the big award, that they'll give it, like, they'll throw it a bone with, like, okay, you get original screenplay, boom, here, go fetch. So I think Anora would get one of the, if it doesn't win, but even then, I'm a little like hesitant because it's like, oh, and obviously we'll get to best picture at the very end, but I think that's a good thing to guess and predict. I think Anora could get, it's kind of up in the air. I haven't seen it, but like, just from what I've heard and, predicting and all that, I think Anora would get it.
Yeah, I agree. Rob?
Okay. So I pretty much, for my personal pick, I put the Substance down. Even though, I mean, I really liked the movie. I didn't love it as much as some people here. Not pointing any names. But I did really like it. I mean, honestly, it came very close to making my top 20. But then when I saw Sing Sing, it pretty much, unfortunately, I had to knock it off the honorable mentions list. But anyway, it does. I do feel like it probably does. It does seem like it does seem very creative and with its ideas and such. However, as much as I would want that to win, I don't think it will. Because I think that will actually go to Anora, because Anora seems to be the favorite among So I feel like I honestly, that's what I'm thinking is probably going to get it. I mean, anything is possible. Honestly, Mark, would you say that this was actually more of a tougher year to predict than the last 2 years?
Yeah, I would say so.
because I think back on last year and how we always said, "Oh yeah, this is an easy one. Da 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 is gonna win. Da 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 da." You know, this is this because the awards for the other award shows, the winners were so all over the place that it's kind of hard to predict. So
it really has been. Yeah, it really has been, especially for Best Picture. I mean, dear Lord,
exactly.
oh, you have like, you know, 3 of them have really good odds of winning. So I mean, but yeah, it's like a coin flip. You know, I mean, Jesus, yes, who knows? But I mean, yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it's probably going to be a Nora. But I mean, they
I think it will be a Nora.
It's been a really, really tough year to predict. So, I mean, a lot of good races this year. But, Devin, what do you think?
Yeah.
I would like for it to go to The Substance, but originally I had that they were going to go with The Brutalist.
Yeah.
But I'm with you guys, considering that a lot of love has been going to Honora lately from other of the awards. That's probably the one they're going to end up picking.
Yeah. All right. So moving on. Best adapted screenplay. So for best adapted screenplay, we have A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Nickel Boys, Sing Sing, and Amelia Perez. And for me, I think Conclave will probably win it, and that is the favorite, and that is the one I think probably should win. I was kind of a toss between that and Nickel Boys, but at the end of the day, I chose Conclave. So, but yeah, because Nickel Boys had a really, really good one soundtrack too, but not soundtrack, but adapt screenplay. But I mean, ultimately, I went with Conclave because Conclave did so well with its dialogue and everything. So, but anyway, what do you guys think?
I think in terms of adapted, I'd like to see Sing Sing win because it hasn't been nominated for a lot, so it would be nice if like something that it hasn't been nominated, like similar with Nickel Boys. It's literally only nominated for a screenplay and Best Picture. So it'd be like, and we all know for a fact Nickel Boys is not fucking winning Best Picture. So similar with Sing Sing, I think it's only been adapted for screenplay and Coleman Domingo's performance. Maybe one other one, but it's just like one of the lesser ones that haven't been nominated a ton. It would be nice if one of those get it. But I think Conclave is going to get it. I mean, it's kind of I wouldn't mind if it won, but I think it's just like one of those movies that I think, it's like you look like, because it's hard to discern like something from a writing point of view when there's so many elements that are not, you know, like that make up the movie now that it's a completed movie rather than just a screenplay. But I've noticed sometimes where I've been watching a movie and even I notice I'm like, this is a good screenplay. Like this, and that's what I was thinking when I was watching Conclave. And so I think they'll give it for that. Like Parasite was another one that I'm like, this is a good screenplay. This is a very good screenplay. Like it just, the way it builds upon itself is like someone with a lot of talent wrote this thing. So I think Conclave is gonna get it because of that. And you know, I mean, it also helps. It was based on a book, so it was like skirted towards that destination. But even then, I think like it's just so well written. I'm like, yeah, they got to give it to this. I think they'll give it to it for that.
Yeah, I agree. All right, Rob, what do you think?
Okay, so for what I would love to see win, I honestly want Nickel Boys to win. I'm probably going to be jumping the gun, getting a little ahead of myself, but Nickel Boys was snubbed big time. It's only got 2 nominations. That is fucking criminal. God.
Yeah, I mean,
Seriously, how did this only get 2 nominations?
Hey, there's a lot of competition this year. I got to say, a lot of competition. I think you're right. You got a good point.
Okay, but anyway, let me get back on track.
All right, go ahead.
I don't want to raise my blood pressure, but anyway, I would love to see Nickel Boys get it, but it's going to go to Conclave. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's the obvious. That's the obvious winner. It's not even a contest because it pretty much swept the award for adapted screenplay for the other award. So
yeah, it did.
It's obviously going to go to it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and Devin.
I'm with you guys. I wanted to go to Nickel Boys, but they're definitely gonna give it to Conclave. I mean, both are like really, really good, smart, impressive scripts, and I don't know. There's just something about Nickel Boy's script that was just really, really powerful and just shocking. Kind of learning like, oh my god, this place actually existed.
Yeah.
And these kids had to go through this. Whereas, like with Conclave script, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a damn good script, and I loved the big twist at the end. But that was more of like it was more like just backstage politics. And that script didn't like hit me as hard as the one for Nickel Boys.
It was definitely more personal, I mean, it was definitely very.
Yeah, it was.
I think what the deciding factor for me was that part of the appeal, a big part of the appeal of Nickel Boys was that first person point of view, and the editing as far as then shifting to a third person point of view in the present, and then you see why by the end, it's because I mean there's the big twist, in that.
Sometimes that got a little confusing.
It did get a little confusing, and that did get a little confusing. But I do think that was kind of a neat trick because it does. I'm of two minds about it. On the one, that one doesn't really bother me as much as the time jumps. I think bothered me a bit, although I saw the reason for it.
Yeah, they did. Those did too. That was what prevented it from getting that perfect 5-star.
But I mean, I did like that. Yeah, it did get a little confusing at times, but I mean, I like the first person point of view at the end of the day because I really like the fact that it puts you in their point of view. It forces you to look at things from their perspective.
That's what I love about it. Is just like I love how you're seeing everything through the eyes of both of these two guys, because I see it as like there's no one central character, main central character. It's all revolved around these two guys, and it seems like they had to go back and forth between them to, because this is their story, You're seeing from both of their views.
Exactly. It would be nice to see it win, honestly, just because
I would love
like
that.
I said, it's not going to win Best Picture, so this would be its chance to win something, and it'd be a shame if it didn't get anything.
But what can you do?
Yeah, that's true. What can
and one more thing before we move on to the next one. Is it Nickel Boys or Nickel Boys? Oh,
no,
come on! I had to make that joke.
I know. All right, moving on to the next one before Rob tries to serenade us with more of that band again. Best visual effects. One of my favorite ones. I always love this one because this one you see a lot of them nominated here that normally would not get a nomination. So for this one, we have Better Man, we have Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked, all of which had very impressive visual effects. But for me, it's clearly Dune Part 2. Dear God, if this film does not win Best Visual Effects, it's almost a crime. That the visual effects were absolutely stunning in this movie, the sandworms and everything. I mean, this guy does CGI actually correct, so I mean, but
there was no Toto, so it wasn't as epic. Like I swear, somebody. Sorry to deter a bit. I'll
Yeah.
be quick. I swear.
No.
Somebody put the big battle music from the original David Lynch Dune over the scene with the sandworms attack, like
Yeah.
in the Denis Villeneuve version, and
Yeah.
it's so much fucking better. I got to show you guys after we're done. It's
I gotta see
so
that.
much fucking better. I'm like, this
I-
would have made
yeah.
the movie a 10 out of 10 for me if they fucking used this music. Anyway,
I still love the David. I get that he hates it, and I get why, because he had such a horrible experience. It's still a fun ride to me. It's just one of those. So that's probably my favorite. So bad it's good movie, and I recognize it's not a good movie, but I mean it's just so much fun to watch, So it has certain style, a certain panache to it, that you could only get from the early '80s. But I mean, it has fucking Sting in it. I mean, for crying out loud.
Sting in a Speedo.
Yeah, seriously, Sting and a Speedo. How do you get better than that? But I mean, I think it's going to win, and I think it should win. But they all had great effects, But that one just takes.
I agree. I think Dune Part 2 is going to take it, and I wouldn't mind if it did. It's one of those cases where it's like kind of like, and we'll get to this for best animated feature. It's like I wouldn't mind if any of them won. However, I do have a favorite, and it's not Dune Part 2, but it's I'm happy it will win, and I'm happy that it will win. Like I'm not like fuck that. But in terms of what I'd like to see win, I'd like to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes win, because I was so shocked with how great the effects still look.
Really great. Yeah.
Like the you can fucking see like the ash clinging to the fucking ape's hairs. It's like, again, that's CGI fucking done right. Instead of, fucking bald Anthony Mackie in front of a green screen talking down Red Hulk with a sappy emotional speech. Like, this is CGI done right. This is what I want to see. And Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, I was like, we were all worried that it wouldn't be as good as the original, but but we were all shocked with like, oh wait, no, this is actually just as good as all the other recent ape movies. And the effects, like the scene where the village gets attacked, that was also really great effects, and just the motion capture just still looks so good to this day. Like, it's so good. I'd like to see that win, because it's just one of the not as like classier movies like Dune is, but Dune is going to get it, and I'm not mad at that fact. Dune absolutely deserves it. I just like, it would be nice if Kingdom won. So with that, I'd like to see it win, but Dune Part 2 is definitely going to get it, and that's fine with me, because Denis Villeneuve, again, knows how to use CGI, as you said.
Exactly. He really fucking does. Yeah. Fellas?
All right. I guess I'm next. So I put down Dune Part 2 for both. So honestly, I loved the visuals. Did look amazing in that movie, and it's honestly, I feel like it's going to be inevitable. However, I will say that if there is a chance it won't win, my only guess is that it's probably because didn't the first part do Part 1? Didn't that one visual effects for that year?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So they may end up giving it to somebody else. So I'm thinking they probably will give it to Wicked. So, but I mean, I'm really rooting for Dune Part 2 on this one.
Yeah. Devin?
I'm with John. I wanted to go to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes because holy shit, the great CGI from the previous movies is still there, and in some ways looks even better. But they're gonna give it to Doom Part 2. Like the other movies that were nominated for that category too, all had really good visual effects. Wicked, Alien Romulus, deal with the engineer xenomorph hybrid, and how the xenomorphs were actually practical. Those looked awesome. And speaking of apes, I really liked how Robbie Williams' monkey form looked in that movie.
Yeah.
Even though again I'm the only one here that actually legitimately loved that movie.
I mean, I thought it was just kind of basic. Other than that, but I mean, I will admit, yeah, the visual effects were really good. The visual effects were really good.
I liked it. I didn't love it though.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, but yeah. So I mean, I agree. I mean, even like Alien Romulus had great effects. You know, I mean, that one had really great effects. It's just that it's kind of
they did
in film, and they would just say, well,
I mean, all of them would be.
Yeah,
all of them are worthy contenders of being nominated.
Exactly.
And by the way, for our audience, you'll be hearing us say that any of the nominees are good contenders later in the stream.
And since he wasn't here to say it because he wasn't there for the last review, Rob, this is your chance to say it. There we go.
Yeah, the only reason I wasn't on last stream was because the internet went out like in my whole area and didn't come back on until after the stream. So,
yeah, exactly. But I mean,
like, oh my god, he said it. He said the thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. Best visual effects. Last year it was Godzilla -1, and we were all so glad. But,
absolutely deserved it.
Yeah, you really did. It's nice to see a Godzilla's film finally fucking win. So this year we'll finally have Denise getting the recognition he deserves. But just kidding. Anyway,
Villeneuve,
French Canadian. Best sound, guys. Best sound is next, and for that one we have A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, the Wicked, and The Wild Robot. So, best sound. I think it's going to be Dune Part 2 again because the sound of that film was absolutely phenomenal. And it is the favorite. It seemed to be the favorite, although it could be Wicked as well. So, but I think it's going to be Dune Part 2, and that's the one I would love to see win, of course, because it was my favorite film of last year.
Same. I think, again, this is another one. I think Dune Part 2 is going to get it. It did have a lot of great sound.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see Wild Robot because I feel like that was also very creative with its sound. And it had a lot more to do because it's animated. And so like it had a lot more like little touches here and there that I noticed that I'd like to see have it win. But I think Dune Part 2 is going to get it. And again, I wouldn't complain if it did because it also had great sound.
Yeah,
so yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right.
For me, I honestly want Doom Part 2 to get it. However, I'm probably gonna be the odd one out and thinking that they'll probably give a bone to another nominee. So I feel like they will I pretty much put down that I think they will give it to A Complete Unknown, because honestly, spoiler alert, I don't see it winning any other awards on my ballot. So I feel like they'll probably just throw a bone. So, because, it's Bob Dylan, it's about music, things like that. Normally I would say that it goes to the loudest, but then again, if Zone of Interest last year's taught us anything, is that it's not really about like how loud the noise is. It's more on how it's utilized kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but I think that, I would love to see Doom Part 2 get it. Again, just like what I said about for visual effects, the only thing that probably could prevent it would be that all the Doom Part 1 won Best Sound that year. So, but I mean, who knows? So, but I mean, either way, they would all be great contenders.
Yeah,
all of them would be.
Really all would be.
All winners would be deserving. So.
Maybe not a million.
But I just think that they're gonna. I just feel like they're gonna throw a bone to A Complete Unknown.
Yeah.
So,
Devin, what do you think?
I wanted to go to Wicked, but I think that they're going to give it to Doom Part 2. Honestly, I think all the movies had great sound except Emilia Perez.
Yeah. Especially re-listening to those. Well, we'll say that when we get the best original song. But
yeah, I definitely like in terms like I loved how with Wicked, like not just the sound of the music and how they were able to blend the dialogue. It like with Doom Part 2, it does the sound does a great job just putting you in that environment,
Exactly.
making you feel like you are a part of
Yeah,
you're a part of the land of Oz.
exactly. He really does. Really does a great job of that. All right. Next, we have Best Live Action Short. Best Live Action Short. I always love the short film nominees because films are always very interesting. So here we have Best Live Action Short. And for this one, we have Alien or Aileen. I don't know how exactly they're pronouncing it, but clearly it's supposed to be Alien. I mean, especially given the thing, but Alien, Anuja, The Last Ranger, The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent, and I'm Not a Robot. So of those, I think it's probably going to be The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent, or maybe Alien. I'm just going to call it Alien, or Alien, but it could be either one of those. I think it's probably going to be The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. Oh, thank you, son. Thank you, son. But either way, I think it's really worthy. It is, and I would not be upset at that at all. I would love to see Alien win, but actually, my favorite of those, honestly, who I would love to see win, it's not, is I'm Not a Robot, although it's not going to win. But I think it's between The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent and Alien. I think it's going to be The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. That is a really, really fantastic film. Perfect way to do a short film, and it's something that actually did happen too, during the war in Bosnia. But really fantastic. So, but John, what do you think? Oops.
I haven't watched any of them. I just went through a bunch of yours, and I'm like, I'm gonna settle on Anuja or however you pronounce it. I think that's gonna win, and I'd like to see it win because I want to. If it wins, I'd like the possibility of getting 3 points. That's literally it. So you're up, Rob.
Okay. All right. So for live action short, I would love to see Anuja get one. That was just such a beautiful short film. However, I don't see that the Oscars picking that one. I think they're going to pick Alien because I mean it's about It's like about immigration, deport, things like that. It's like more. It's more about current relevant.
More relevant.
It's a more relevant situation issue kind of thing. So I feel like they will probably go with something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna say Alien for what I think will win, and Anuja for what I would love to see win.
Yeah.
I would like to see I'm Not a Robot win. That was easily my favorite of the live action shorts. I think they might give it to Anuja.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
All I gotta say.
All right. And Anuja was really good too. I really loved that one. Loved all of them actually. They're all really good. So, but next we have Best Animated Short. Best Animated Short, and the nominees are Beautiful Men and Beautiful Penises. Apparently, beautiful animated penises.
Man.
Exactly.
In
the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Yuck, and Wonder to Wonder. And for me, I would love to see In the Shadow of the Cypress win. It's not probably going to be either Yuck or Beautiful Men. I'm just going to bet on Yuck. Although it could really go either way, I think, with this one. So, although those are honestly probably my two least favorites, it's probably going to be one of those. I really wasn't that impressed with hardly any of the animated shorts. Wonder to Wonder was all right. In the Shadow of the Cypress was my favorite. I think that's the most creative. Wonder to Wonder was pretty good. Magic Candy was just okay. Although it just was kind of weird to me because it's essentially just a kid tripping on drugs the whole fucking time. So like, okay,
That's what I liked about it.
yeah. What the fuck? Like, goddamn, Japan. I mean, fuck. Um, so, but Yuck was just, it was okay. I mean, I guess it looks like the kind of film they would like, and it was cute, but I mean, it was just nothing special to me. And Beautiful Men was just honestly, it wasn't even. I kid about the whole penis thing, but honestly, my issue with that film was not that. My issue with that film was essentially is just middle-aged guys feeling sorry for themselves. I'm like, get the
Pretty
fuck
much.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Get over yourself. I mean, Jesus Christ. But I mean, not one of those films impressed me all that much. But I mean, they did the same thing. What was it, a couple of years ago with the John Lennon and Yoko Ono film winning. You know, the one.
The worst of that of the nominees from that year, and it was the obvious winner.
Exactly. So I mean, sure enough, it did. So. Because they love John Lennon and Yoko Ono, even though he was a really piece of shit father. But anyway, wait, is that it? Did we all go through all of them?
What?
I don't think I went for the animated.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I didn't
I
go
just-
either. I didn't go
Okay.
either.
Yeah, what the-
I just did In the Shadow of Cypress. I just did it for both because that was just what I saw. So I'm like, sure, why not?
Yeah.
I'll pick that one.
In the Shadow of the Cypress, that's the one I would love to see win. However, I don't think it will. I think it's honestly going to go to Wander.
Yeah.
And that's because usually I like to look to see what I do remember it did win animated short for the Annies, I believe. So, and I think if it was for one other award show, I can't remember. So, but I think Wonder to Wonder has more of an advantage than any of the rest of them. I mean, Beautiful Men was honestly just kind of I mean, it was my least favorite of the five. I don't the penises didn't bother me, but then again, I'm
kidding
scenario,
about
but
that.
any,
I don't think it's funny.
like you said, it was. I know.
No, I'm sorry. I
know.
didn't know.
It was just funny seeing in the chats.
It's just funny to me that they keep nominating animated films with animated penises. It's like there's two of them this year.
Okay,
There was
anyway.
one a couple years ago where you had the sailor who was, I think it was a Canadian film or something, or a European.
The Flying Sailor.
Yeah, with the sailor, yeah, and that one, and they keep nominated animated shorts with penises in it. If you want an animated short to get nominated, put a penis in it. Then the Oscars will. Great.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, I thought Yuck was cute, so I think I understood what it was trying to go for, like the whole naive innocence in childhood, things like that, where kids that age think that
and everybody remembers
and anything dealing with the opposite sex is gross. Things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I would love to see Shadow of Cypress get this one, but I have a feeling it's going to Wonder to Wonder.
Sadly,
all right,
go ahead.
We'll let this guy go next.
Sorry, Devin.
I absolutely adored In the Shadow of the Cypress. I thought that was excellent. Like, I loved the animation. I loved its portrayal of like cabin fever and agoraphobia.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that's gonna win. I think they're gonna give it to Yuck, just because it's like, oh, it's about kiss and the first kiss and the cooties. Look at the show, adorable. Like, that is the only reason why that's gonna win. I do like how there was how stop motion was, appreciated in terms of the shorts, because Wonder to Wonder was stop motion, Beautiful Men was stop motion, Magic Candy was stop motion. The only shorts I didn't care for were Beautiful Men and Yuck. I liked everything else.
I mean, I didn't like Beautiful Men. Yuck, I liked all right.
Be beautiful.
But Yuck was Yuck was okay to me. I mean, from bottom to worst, I would say from worst to the top, I would say Beautiful Men was the worst. Yuck was a little better. I kind of like that. It was all right. I mean, above that, Magic Candies, then Wonder to Wonder, and then The Shadow of the Cypress to me just stood out of all of them because that was just the most creative. Although I got to say, Wonder to Wonder was pretty creative, with the way they would. The idea of little people who are actually exist help him film the show. He dies and they're just stuck in there. So, I mean,
it's weird. It's weird they would put that under it. Well, it's not that. It's weird they put it under best animated best animated short when it's part animation and part live action. It's like a hybrid.
Yeah, it really is. So, I mean, yeah. So
why not put that for regular short?
Well, I mean, hey, Disney calls the Lion King remake a
live action,
even though that's clearly animated.
It's animated.
It counts as the top. It's the second. Well, now the third most top-grossing animated film. So it's it's a fucking animated film. You fucks.
What the fuck? But anyway, so next we have Best Original Song, and I have a confession to make about this one because here I'll just read the nominees first. For Best Original Song, we have for Best Original Song we have two from Emilia Perez, El Mal and Mi Camino. El Mal and Mi Camino from Emilia Perez. There's The Journey by her from the 688. There's Like a Bird for Sing Sing. And there's Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. So honestly, I really didn't care that much for any of them. So as far as what would I like to see them, I honestly put down there none of them because fuck this BS. I just wasn't that impressed with any of them. Even the Elton John song, you guys know I love Elton John. It was just mediocre to me. It's just sounds like a mediocre, yet another mediocre Oscar-nominated song. It's always Oscar-nominated Best Original Song. And I just didn't care for any of them. I mean, none of them are that bad, except maybe the Emilia Perez songs, because I re-listened to them. It's like, dear God, wow, I must be on top of something
They did
bad. But I just wasn't that impressed with any of them. It's clearly going to be El Mal, let's be honest.
I don't know any of them.
But they all sound like the same, inspirational, paint by number inspirational.
None
song,
of them sound
Oscar
even
nominated song.
unique.
No, they don't. None of them do. But I mean,
this is just my take. I don't know anything about any of this.
But John, what do you think?
I didn't listen. I didn't even listen to any of the songs. I know they're like 2 to 3 minutes each, but I didn't give enough of a fuck to fucking listen to any of them. I don't give a shit. I don't care. But I put down what I'd like to see win the Elton John song. I like Elton John, even though I have no fucking clue what the song is. I just like Elton John. So I fucking voted for that one. That's what I'd like to see win. I think it'll win.
Yeah.
El Mal is probably the one that's gotten more stuff. I don't know if it's won anything specifically, but that's the one I've seen that's gotten a lot of love, I guess. I think that was Zoe Saldana's song. Is that El Mal, or am I thinking of the other?
That's El Mal.
Where she's like rubbing panties on herself or something, or whatever the fuck it was. I don't know. I just saw a random clip. I'm like, ew, what the fuck is this movie? Anyway, so that's what I think is gonna win. I mean, but I didn't even listen. I've the only one I've heard. I don't know if this one's nominated, but I listened to like 3 seconds of the Penis Vagina song from Emilia Perez, and I wanted to stick scissors in my ears, and I was like, this movie got nominated.
Woman to man, man to woman, penis to vagina.
That's I listened to that for like 3 seconds, and I'm like, honestly, I'm envious of deaf people right now because this is fucking horrendous.
What does that mean? Adam's apple reduction. Yes.
Because it was nominated.
Anyway.
All right. Anyway.
Rob, you go.
Anyway, let's move on.
Anyways, okay, so let's get to my pick. So, honestly, a lot of these songs, I think I'm kind of with you, Mark. A lot of these songs I didn't find to be all that great. El Mal from Amelia Perez is obviously going to get it. In terms of what I would like to see win, this is going to be a weird one. I actually, because originally I had thought about putting the Elton John song in, but the more I think about it, but I feel like, you know what, Elton John, he's already won Best Original Song before, things like that. You know what? I'm gonna say just fuck it. Give it to Diane Warren, The Journey. And the only reason I put it down is just so that she can get her pity Oscar and fuck off next year. That's literally the only reason I voted for her, was just because Diane Warren is that annoying little fly that won't leave the Academy the fuck alone.
Which I know is why I don't like the song.
I mean, the only reason I put it down was just so that the Oscars can give her a pity Oscar so she could fuck off. Because honestly, I'm tired of seeing her get nominated all the goddamn time. You know,
she always gets nominated. I swear she
always gets nominated. She never wins, though. It's like, can we just give her a pity Oscar so she'll leave us alone? Seriously. You know, can we do that, please?
Kind of like what they did with DiCaprio for The Revenant.
Yeah. Devin, what do you think, man?
So, I actually went out of my way to listen to all of the songs because I am one of the music guys here.
I listened to all.
Okay.
So, I do want it to go to Never Too Late by Elton John because it's Elton John. I actually did like that song. They're gonna give it to El Mal. That's actually one of the few songs in Amelia Perez I can tolerate because Zoe Saldana actually does a pretty decent job
You don't like the
singing. Not that one. That's the song where she's like calling out like the corrupt government.
Yeah, that's the one she called it, corrupt government. The funny thing is, I was watching them all on YouTube, and most of them, honestly, I just couldn't get through all of them because, this is just so basic. I can't do it. But that one, like the funny thing is, guys, is like there are so many comments, like this one guy. I'm a Spanish speaker. I can hardly tell what the fuck they're talking about. This is just
because most of the singing in that movie is da 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 or
yeah. It's so bad. It's like
I'm a Spanish woman.
Yeah.
But that's one of the songs.
That's not even mentioned. Yeah, but that's not.
Like I said,
sorry, but the actress, the main actress who is trans in real life, she's really problematic apparently because she made a bunch of posts.
She's a racist Nazi sympathizer.
On Twitter, she made a bunch of Islamophobic posts about Muslim immigrants and shit. You know, there's a lot of racism.
Guess what, bitch? Graveyard. But anyway.
Yeah,
that's the one song in that movie I actually tolerate because Zoe Saldana actually does a really good job.
Yeah,
and I don't remember much from Mi Camino. Is that the song?
Song singing with her, her boyfriend.
Is that the song where is that the part where she says my pussy hurts when I think of you?
No, that was before. That wasn't a song in the song. That was what she said to that guy. But yeah, that was the guy she was having an affair with. Yeah,
the Like a Bird. That song was very, very good, and her was there. Yeah. I didn't watch Six AAA because you guys know I don't like Tyler Perry.
Yeah,
and I don't even like her as a musician anyway. The only I like the band. I like the band Him, not so much her.
But I mean, I agree because I did try to listen to all of them anyway because it's like all of these are just basic to me. I mean, I guess Elton John, just because I'd like to see Elton John with, although he's already won 2. I mean, shit, the guy's undefeated when he's nominated for Best Song. He's won both times. So.
He won back in 1995, and he won back in 2020.
Exactly. Yeah. So I mean, shit. For Rocket Man in 2020.
Rocket Man in 2020 and Lion King in 95.
All right, I'll stop.
I
Sir.
remember.
No.
I remember. Although side note, I remember when Elton John was doing the music for Lion King, and he was like, when I was looking down at my sheet music and I was literally making the lyric when I was a young warthog, I had to think about a couple things from my life. He's like, what the fuck am I doing with my career?
I mean, Elton John didn't really have a lot of faith in The Lion King, and then
No,
he
he
was blown,
didn't. He
was
didn't.
blown away when he saw how well it was.
Yeah, because that was the beat that I don't know if you guys know this, but how when they were making both Shrek and Prince of Egypt at the time, Prince of Egypt was the movie that was like the prime DreamWorks movie, and then if animators were not doing a well enough job on Prince of Egypt, they were sent to Shrek, and they even had a word for it. It was called being Shreked, and like that because that was seen as the shitty B movie that wasn't going to make money. So they went to that, and then it exploded. Same thing happened at Disney. Pocahontas was supposed to be the big ultimate moneymaker, the prime thing, the big animation, big historical epic. And then the B team is the one that worked on Lion King. Yet Lion King was more critically acclaimed and looked better animated in my opinion.
Really did.
But and so that I just find that to be interesting that like, oh, the B movie that I wouldn't say Disney didn't have faith in it, but that was like when those were being made at around the same time. And I think Pocahontas actually got delayed because of that. But yeah, it so that was an interesting little tidbit. So you just like Lion King was like, huh, that's interesting. But yeah, side note, just fun facts with John.
No, he's saying no. He wasn't saying the.
I didn't make a clip for that. I'm sorry.
He was talking about that how Disney was making Pocahontas and The Lion King around the same time, and Pocahontas was supposed to be the big one. The Lion King was just like the B movie. It was supposed to like, oh, we're also do this. Yeah. That wasn't supposed to be.
Sorry,
that's
I don't
what it
know.
was. Yeah.
Crazy terminology.
Yeah, but I mean, Pocahontas was not very good. I remember seeing that. It's not impressed with this at all. Like, really, it's. Besides, I don't like. As an aside, I have to do this, but I just don't like. I really, really hate when they. I really, really hate when they do the whole John Smith and Pocahontas in love things. Dude, she would have been like fucking 14 at the time, if that. She would have been like a young girl, like a teenage girl. Like even back then, she wouldn't have been of marrying age, So I mean, shit. I mean, she did get married to an Englishman later, but it was John Rolfe, the guy who introduced tobacco to Virginia. Not that, and I don't have the clip here, or I would play the whole. This has been top marks with Mr. Thompson. Devin, you want to do the honors?
All right. This has been Top Bucks with Mr. Thompson.
All right, moving on. Before we lose, the no audience we have. Best original score is next. Best original score, and for that one, the nominees are for best score. Are The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez,
Boo.
Wicked,
Boo.
and The Wild Robot. But it's probably going to be The Brutalist. That is the favorite, and so what did I even put? I put Wicked for best score. So I would love to see see Wicked win best score. So
You gotta give it to Wicked.
but I don't think it's going to be Wicked. But I think it's going to be The Brutalist. So John.
In terms of what I have next, original score, right? I think what? I think they're gonna give Amelia Perez a bunch of technicals. So I'm gonna say Amelia Perez for score, but I'd like to see Wild Robot win because that score was excellent. But I feel like they're not gonna give Amelia Perez any of the big ones. They're especially not gonna give it to the main chick now.
No.
Definitely not with especially with their tweets resurfaced. But I could see it winning a bunch of technicals, like it'll throw them a bone. I think Amelia Perez score will win it. So
yeah. Rob?
Okay, so for original score, I think the Brutalist is going to get this, and what I would love to see win, I put down Wicked. So,
Yeah.
although I would also, as a dark horse candidate, I wouldn't mind the Wild Robot getting it either.
Yeah.
So, but I think that, but I would love to see, but like that's what I picked. I picked Wicked for what I would love to see win, and Brutalist for what I think will win. So.
Yeah. All right. And Devin.
I put Wicked down for both. The score and the music in that movie was absolutely fantastic, from Defying Gravity to What Is This Feeling. Like all of those songs, that whole score is just fucking mind blowing.
It really is.
I hope to God. I mean, obviously, you can't nominate Wicked for Best Original Song because it's adapted from a musical. But to be fair, so is Amelia. To be fair, so
Exactly.
is Amelia Perez.
Yeah.
But
But
yeah, I wanted to go to Wicked.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, I think it's going to be the Brutalist, though. I mean, Daniel Bloomberg did do a really good job with that, because that was really
that was a great score.
That was a really great score. So, but anyway, next up is Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Best Makeup and Hairstyling. Get your hair did. And we have, for that one, we have A Different Man, Amelia Perez. Oh, I was waiting on Kaylee to boo.
Boo.
Nosferatu,
Woo!
The Substance, and Wicked.
Boo.
You didn't even watch it.
Ariana Grande. She did. She actually.
I hate the whole movie.
Don't
I hate
tell-
the whole movie.
She doesn't. She likes it. But
No, I don't.
She will never admit it, but she does like
No, I don't.
it.
I
See
never
what I mean?
watched it.
But anyway, but best makeup and hairstyling, I think the one I think is going to win is going to be The Substance, and I really think it should. So I mean, The Substance, I think this is probably going to be its best. No, it's not best, but I mean, I think it's pretty much got this one on lock. The makeup and hairstyling was really damn good in this film. So I mean, but so what do you guys think?
Honestly, I think wait, was Nosferatu nominated for makeup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I changed it to that. I forgot that it was nominated. So I think I want Nosferatu to win for best makeup, because I do genuinely believe the makeup was great in the movie. I would also like to see A Different Man. That was my original choice. I'm like, I'd really like to see that one. I thought that was great makeup, but I'm a sucker for horror, so Nosferatu. Honestly, I'd like to see Nosferatu Substance or A Different Man win. I think any of them were really good. But however, I do believe that Amelia Perez is going to get it, because they're just going to give it like a bunch of technical shit. So that's another thing I think it's going to get.
Yeah. All right, so Rob.
Okay. I'm practically with you, Mark. I think I think I put down The Substance for both. So I think even though I've made it clear that I'm not necessarily a body horror kind of guy. If you are, that's awesome. But The Substance is not necessarily. I'll always give a movie when, like, if a movie is really good, I'll give it credit where credit's due, even if I am not the right target audience. But I will say the makeup and does look amazing. So, where you see her, like, you see like she's losing a lot of her age, and a lot of the face, you see more wrinkles and all body parts just merging, it's just like it does look very. I'm glad that they pretty much went with like a lot of practicals with that.
Yeah,
so
seriously, they did an amazing job with that.
So I put Substance for both of them.
I was reading that, Coralie. I'll let Devin go first, and I'll say, go ahead, Devin.
Again, I have the shirt. I have the shirt. I have the tattoos. I wanted to go to Nosferatu,
Fair.
but I think, they might. I think they might give it to the Substance.
It's the same way.
I mean, I would not. I mean, I would not be angry like what they did when Demi Moore was falling apart, and like when Demi Moore was falling apart after Sue's abuse of the Substance, like her getting older, and then you have the monster at the end that looks fucking incredible. Like they did such a great job with that, but at the same time, what they did with Orlok, with Skarsgård as Orlok, and how he looks
Especially
so
his penis.
yeah, prosthetic micro penis and all, just
That thing
like
that thing was not micro. I will tell you that. If that thing was micro, bro, nah, hell nah.
Skarsgård, like they fully, he wasn't even Bill Skarsgård. He was Orlok through and through. What they did with him, it should absolutely get an award for that.
Yeah.
But if the Substance or a Different Man won, I would not be angry.
No.
Because that, how you guys know how a Different Man hit with me.
Yeah, it did. So, and they're cat tax. So, but cats showing their butthole to you, that's a power move. It's like, look at my butthole,
It's a
peasant.
love language.
You will look at my butthole and still feed me. So, but I was going to say that I was reading that Coralie Farjat, the director of The Substance, that she, some people had pressure to kind of change the ending, to take out the monster. But she ultimately, as she thought about it, said, "Man, maybe I'm going too far." But then she thought, "No, because this is kind of the point. This is the whole point. This has to be."
I fucking loved how it ended.
Yes, I do.
It was just so over the top and bloody and gnarly. I love it.
Yes, and that really
The funny thing is that I actually remember watching it, The Substance, a second time. I was watching it with my brother and my mom, and the part that always got them at the end was the teeth pulling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't think I should watch this film.
You guys know how I am with teeth.
Yeah.
I can't do teeth. I can't do eyes. I can't do tongues or nails.
Yeah.
Or needles. I know you have don't like needles either.
Yeah, I think every morning when I prick my finger to check my blood, my glucose.
I would just have to let
I think of you, I'm like, Devin, you better never get diabetes, man, because Devin getting diabetes, like, no, I'm not checking my glucose that way. No, give me something else. Not doing it that way. No, but no.
Pretty much good thing I've been keeping track of my health.
Exactly. There you go. All right. Next we have Best International Film, and this has one that I haven't seen. The one I haven't seen that I am scheduled to see tomorrow, and that is I'm Still Here, which I will just go ahead and say I think that's going to be the one to win. That seems to be the favorite. All the odds makers are picking that one, so I think that's probably going to be the favorite. Although it could go to Emilia Perez, but I think that film's fortunes have sunk somewhat. So Emilia Perez. Flow is also nominated, which is also nominated. Spoiler alert, for Best Animated Feature. The Seed of the Sacred Fig. That's the one I would love to see win the most. The Seed of the Sacred Fig. And The Girl with the Needle. I loved The Seed of the Sacred Fig, not only before the story of how it was shot, because this is a director who it was an Iranian film. This film was shot by a director who actually has been punished by the regime because there are such strict censorship laws in Iran. He has been punished by the Revolutionary Court before, and which is a major topic of this film, because the guy is an investigator on his way to becoming a judge on the Revolutionary Court, and the father figure, and he is eaten up by paranoia when his gun disappears, because he has a gun to protect himself. He's issued a gun for his position to protect himself, and he loses it. He disappears, and he gets really, really paranoid and increasingly paranoid. And the way it builds that paranoia, it really just rivets you to the film, and I was just riveted the whole time. I didn't even stop to look at the time or anything in my watch. I was really riveted the whole time. It's just the little touches, the little ways, the very subtle ways
Felt
he builds
very
that
real.
tension. Exactly, like when he's driving home after he learns that his name and address and everything have been leaked online. This took place during the 2022 woman freedom protest. It was something I'm forgetting in there, but it was kicked off by the real story of the girl who was killed, the young woman who was killed in custody for not wearing her hijab correctly in Iran, and they just had these massive protests. He actually used real footage from the protest because he's like, there's no way that we could possibly recreate that, be as impactful as the actual footage. So he used actual footage from it and incorporated it into the story, and it was just so incredibly well done. So it's not only relevant about an issue that's very relevant about women's rights and countries like Iran where where they're still in the Stone Ages as far as women's rights, but it's all not only that, it's extremely well done. They had to film this in secret. He couldn't even come on set. He had to be there via FaceTime because he was afraid that because his presence would have attracted attention. And matter of fact, the lead actor and actress, the father and the mother, have actually been arrested. They are actually charged with subverting the regime. And the director thinks they're waiting for after the Oscars to announce their sentence. It's not to bring more attention to it, but they will almost certainly go to prison. And maybe who knows what will happen to them for this. But I think it's just an incredible picture. But sorry for going on long, guys, but I just really, really love that film. But I think it's going to be I'm Still Here, and I am looking forward to seeing that finally tomorrow. That will be the last film I need to see. But John, what do you say?
I think I would like to see I'm Still Here win it. From what I've heard from you guys and other people, that it's a really well made and well done film. So I'd like to see that win, but I have no hope for the Oscars, even with all the controversy. I think they'll still give it to Emilia Perez. So that's what I think will win, but I'd like to see I'm Still Here win. So
What?
For me, I said the same thing, John. I would love for I'm Still Here to win. And normally, yes, I know that I pretty much talk about like how it's bullshit that the international nominees that the winner is always the top dog, the best picture nominee, and it robs it from other nominees. I still say that's bullshit, but I will always give credit where credit's due. So I will give the devil his due on this one and think that I'm Still Here will win this one. However, honestly, I still think it's going to go to Emilia Perez. It's inevitable at this point. So, because if it won Best International or Foreign Film for some of the other awards, then it's going to go to this. Though
I don't know. Because you have two films nominated for Best Picture from Best International Film, which is interesting. About time, honestly. But you have two of them nominated. But I haven't even seen I'm Still Here, and I think it's probably got to be more worthy than Emilia Perez. But you also had Flow, which is also nominated for Best Animated
Feature, and we'll get to that soon.
Yeah. But Devin, what do you think?
I watched I'm Still Here on Monday, and that is hands down the best of the international movies. That was a fucking powerful, beautiful, amazing film. I wanted to win so fucking bad. But knowing the Oscars, they're of course going to give it to men to woman, woman to men, men to woman, penis to vagina. Is it for you?
Literal lyrics. These are literal lyrics.
Oh,
he's right. But
it's on.
I did not.
Yeah, but
I honestly thought that a lot of this time was going to be us ripping apart Emilia Perez. I know you like that movie, Mark, But I just kept thinking that we were all going to spend this whole category just tearing apart Amelia Perez.
Because it doesn't deserve anything.
It doesn't deserve shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, but of course the Academy always nominates the most problematic shit. Every year. So.
I mean, look at Crash winning that year.
Crash, dear God, oh God.
Look
And
at
I
Green
feel
Book.
bad because when I first watched that film, I really liked it. So, but years later, after rewatching it last year, when I watched my rewatch of all the Best Picture nominees, of all the Best Picture winners, all the Best Picture winners, I got to that and I rewatched it. I'm like, I got to rewatch this and see if it's as bad as everybody says. I'm like, holy shit! What the fuck was I smoking at the time? Jesus Christ!
Look at fucking Green Book winning.
Oh yeah, Green Book. Oh God. Oh God. But anyway, let's move on to better
The movie
shit.
was crap.
Yeah. So, but I don't think it is. I still think I think I'm Still Here is going to win. But I mean, anyway, let's move on to better shit.
Here's the open.
Yeah. Best film editing. Best film editing. Very important part of a film.
It's not
Best
Wicked.
film editing. Anora. The nominees are Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Perez, and Wicked.
Boo!
So, but I think this is going to go to Conclave. That seems to be the favorite. Anora could also win it, maybe, but I think it's going to be Conclave. So, which does have really, really good editing. So, but John, what do you think?
I'd like to see Wicked win because that is a movie that was over 2.5 hours and didn't feel like it. So I got to give it points for that. So yeah, I think that's the only one. I think that's the only one of mine where I voted for Wicked. But yeah, I'd like to see that win editing. But I think The Brutalist is gonna get it. Why? Because many a times in the past, the one with the worst editing gets the win. Look at when Bohemian Rhapsody won. Look at it when The Imitation Game won. Both had horrendous editing, and both for some reason won. So The Brutalist, it's truncated with the fact I just watched it yesterday, and great movie. But the last hour was like a fucking slog. So. But it's like it's 3.5 hours, big, oh my god, big epic, and that complements the editing. So I think it's gonna go to The Brutalist.
Yeah. All right. So, but Rob, what do you think?
All right. I honestly said that for what I would like to see win, I would like to see The Brutalist get it. However, I know John said that the worst editing. For film editing, it will go to the worst pick, which is honestly why I picked Amelia Perez. I think it'll go to Amelia Perez because honestly,
I think you guys are being too pessimistic here. I don't think it's going to win nearly that much. It's not going to come
Wait
out
till tomorrow, dude.
I don't.
No, we'll see. I mean, I hope I'm wrong.
We can all look. But I think it will go to Amelia Perez for same reason that this guy said. So because it went to the because I didn't really care for the editing that much in Amelia Perez, but I would Brutalist I think would be more deserving. So.
Yeah. All right, and last but not least, Devin.
I put Wicked down for both. Because that had damn good editing, and like John said, like it's over 2.5 hours, and not once is that movie boring.
That's true.
Everything flows just so naturally. So
does it flow as naturally as flow?
Flow your boat gently down the stream.
Well, but let's move on because we're putting an hour and a half here already. But I mean, we got about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 categories to go. So next we have documentary short, and this should be an interesting category. The nominees are I Am Ready Warden, The Only Girl in the
I will
Orchestra.
kill myself if that wins.
Wait,
Sorry.
The Only Girl in the Orchestra, Incident, Death by Numbers, Instruments of a Beating Heart. I think it's going to be I Am Ready Warden. It could be The Only Girl in the Orchestra.
I
It's
hope
between
not.
those two. Honestly, those are my least favorite. The Only Girl in the Orchestra, I think it has a
So
fast.
fucking
Let me fucking talk shit. God damn it. I think it was so. It's a fascinating subject. Yes, clearly she's very important. She's a fascinating subject. She's a fascinating woman. But I just think the subject, the film itself was just boring as hell. Just the editing and everything, and it jumps all over the place. It's just not very compellingly told, you know. I mean, but I don't think the story is very well told. So I mean, but it's probably going to go to I Am Ready Warden. I think that's my pick to win. Because even though that was just okay to me, it was honestly, I thought it was just kind of mediocre. The only reason I gave it a like is at the very end when the victim's son, when he kind of cried after the execution, he said, I feel justice was done finally, but at the same time, a man lost his life, and I can't feel good about that. Another life was lost, and I can't feel good about that. And that was the only reason. That moment of honesty was the only real reason that I said, okay, because you just can't feel for this guy. I mean, it's like, it's okay. It's great that you turned around. You still kind of deserve what's coming to you. I mean, I can't feel good for that. And I'm not a person who's necessarily pro death penalty, but I mean, at the same time, I can't feel bad for this guy. I mean, so, but I mean, as far as the one I would love to see win, I would love to see Incident win, because Incident was just the one that had the biggest impact on me. That was the one that just had my jaw hitting the fucking floor, because it's really just raw footage. It's the way it's been edited together. Yeah, I mean, the way it's been edited, but I mean, it's really just raw footage of seeing these cops really just completely, literally lying about this guy. I mean, who was just, he didn't pull out his gun. He pulled out his permit. He literally had a permit to have the gun. And she just reaches as if she's going to arrest him. She had the permit to have the gun. And they sit there and lie and say that he shot, that he shot, but he didn't shoot a damn thing. He didn't even have the gun in his hand. He didn't even take the gun out. And they literally just took it out and put it there. You just see what they're doing with the body cam and everything. I mean, you even hear them concoct the fucking story. It was just that fucking shocking. So, I mean, but that's the one that I would love to see win, Incident, but it's not going to win, sadly. Death by Numbers was also very personal to me, because, I mean, being about a school shooting, that was a really tough one to watch. And the victim, the girl who testified, was extremely brave. I could not imagine doing that. But, I mean, I loved Instruments of a Beating Heart too, but I'll shut my mouth about this now. John, what do you think?
I just did Incident for both. It sounded interesting, and I think it could do it because it has something to say about like police brutality and that kind of thing. So that might be some points for the Academy. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Just for both. Trying to get 3 points there if it wins.
Yeah, I know, right? Rob, what do you think?
Okay, so I'm with you. I want Incident to get this one. And that was kind of a hard watch. However, seeing how this is honestly a little bit more relevant, I put originally I said I Am Ready Warden, because I had to keep thinking about it back and forth about like a lot of these picks. So, but I think I'm probably going to go with Death by Numbers because it's more relevant. It's more related to like school shootings or something that's still happening and all. Usually a lot of times they'll go with like something that's more of an occurrence that's issued, kind of thing. I mean, it could go with any of them. Maybe it will go to I'm Ready Warden. It could go to Incident. Who knows? So, but I'm going to put it down. They'll go with Death by Numbers just because it seems like the more more current
Yeah.
scenario.
I would like for it to go to Death by Numbers. Does that I would that whole that scene alone where she's confronting like the shooter in court,
Yeah.
that was like
Yeah.
god fucking damn. But I think they might give it to Incident.
Yeah.
Because especially with everything with George Floyd.
Yeah.
I know that'll definitely have everybody's attention. I mean, it's a damn good and powerful short too. But I don't know. Death by Numbers definitely had a lot more, especially since with that year alone there was just so many school shootings.
Yeah.
Like every time you'd go on Facebook, you'd see the news and another school shooting, another school shooting, another school shooting.
The only way I could deal with it as a teacher is just to numb myself to it. So I mean, because I can't. I know it sounds callous, but at the same time, it's like this is a survival strategy. This is the only way I can deal with this insanity. So, but anyway, but moving on. So, our next one is Best Documentary Feature. Best Documentary Feature. And for this one, the nominees are Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, and Sugarcane. They're all really good this year. But they're all really good this year. I think my least favorite was Porcelain War, to be honest with you. Nothing against the film. It's just that it was kind of the jumping back and forth kind of got me. But it was very, very well done at the same time. But No Other Land, I think that was my favorite was Sugarcane until I got to No Other Land. And I found that just absolutely fucking floored me. So, I mean, No Other Land is my pick for what I think is going to win. And I think because, being about the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, and that's the one I think really should win because it's just really, this kid really filmed this over 20 years, over a period of 20 years, of just film from going back to the 90s. I had really literally just filmed this, I mean, you just filmed it on his phone, and this Israeli journalist, this young Israeli journalist just found out about it and just went up to him and said, "Hey, man, I'd like to help you with this. I'd like to help you with this," because, I mean, the way they build up that trust between them and everything, and you just kind of seeing it raw, what happens. It's just like kind of like Incident. It's just like raw footage, so, I mean, you see shit as it happens. So that was a really, really hard watch. But I mean, but anyway, John?
I decided to go for Sugarcane for both. I just think it's an interesting concept, interesting film, interesting ideas, and it's hard hitting, so I think it'll get it.
Yeah. Rob?
Okay. For documentary feature, I actually am with you. I want No Other Land to win.
Yeah.
That was real. That was honestly,
Yeah.
it was kind of like last year with 20 Days in Mariupol.
Oh,
It was like a very rough watch.
It
So
really was.
it was a very, very rough watch.
Because it's just like that one. It doesn't.
I still would love to see that win.
Yeah. It doesn't leave you with any hope.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and it doesn't. And that was really kind of a rough way to end my Oscar binge this year, because that was like the last nominee I had to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, what I think is going to win, as much as I would love for that to win, I think it's going to go to Sugarcane, because Sugarcane is one documentary feature for other awards too.
Yeah.
So I feel like that has more of an advantage than the rest. So
Yeah. Good point.
Mm.
Devin?
I wanted to go to Sugarcane. That was my favorite of all the documentaries. It's again just like with Nickel Boys. just knowing that these people were actually sent to go to like these schools that were like prisons where they were just abused in every way imaginable or killed is unbelievable.
Trying to wipe out
However,
literally. Yeah.
however, I think they might give it to Black Box Diaries.
I love that one too. That one's
a good one.
Yeah. It's another one.
It's about a woman trying to expose like her rapist, who was a very powerful figure in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And just all the people that were like backing him up, and that's typically how it is. Famous person commits a crime, all these people are going to support them. Look at the people that supported Roman Polanski. Look at the people that supported Brian Peck.
Exactly.
A lot of people supported Larry Nassar and Jerry Sandusky.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Jimmy Savile too.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has their circles, and the dude who assaulted her had his.
And you have that whole culture in Japan that they talked about in Steel, where a woman who is raped or sexually assaulted does not talk about it because it's seen as shameful. The shame goes on them.
Yeah.
It's like the shame is put on them. It's talk about gaslighting. Jesus Christ, man. Some of the comments that they played were just shocking. It was just like real comments by people. It's like, damn. Like, Jesus, man. I think she's incredibly brave. I did love that film. But yeah, I loved really, honestly, they're all really, really good this year. Soundtrack to What Coup d'etat was another really, really good one. Very well done. Anyway, so moving on. Next we have Best Costume Design. Best Costume Design. So for Best Costume Design, the nominees are A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. This is Wicked's to lose, honestly, and they really deserved it probably. I'd love to see Nosferatu with it as well, but they're gonna win. Probably do deserve it. They did do really, really good with the costume design. So plus the Academy does love those big lavish costumes. So,
well, don't get my mom started on that because they're like, oh, they love big lavish costumes, and she thought Cinderella was going to win, and then Mad Max Fury Road won. I still hear it to this day. They went dumpster diving. Like, oh my god, don't get me started on Mad Max Fury Road winning costumes.
I love your brother already. That's cool. They went
don't get me wrong. The costumes in Cinderella were amazing.
Yeah,
but I wanted to see Mad Max Fury Road win because I love that movie. And then she still goes off about Roberto Benigni winning over Tom Hanks. Like she still fucking goes off on it. But I'm literally the same way. I think Wicked's gonna get it. I think it is deserving. They did have great costumes.
Yeah,
but I'd love to see Nosferatu win. Robert Eggers is my boy. Love to see it, but I think that Wicked is gonna win, and that's not a bad thing either.
Yeah, okay. Rob.
All right, so I put down Wicked for both. So I know it's gonna win, and it deserves it. Those costumes did look fantastic. It's like watching the movie. It honestly looks like you're actually watching Broadway, kind of thing. Yeah. And I do love the designs, the costumes, and all. It just looks fantastic to me, and I think it deserves to win.
Yeah, they did do really good in costume design. Devin.
So for me, again, my favorite movie of last year is Nosferatu. I would love it to go to Nosferatu, but I don't know. I think they're probably going to give it to Wicked.
Yeah.
Even though, again, yes, did the costumes look great in Wicked? absolutely.
Yeah.
But again, Skarsgård's look as Orlok and Robert Eggers just being accurate to the setting and the time period
Yeah.
is triumphs all that.
Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, moving on. Next we have Best Cinematography. And for that one, the nominees are The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. The best, so it's going to go to The Brutalist. I think I would love, honestly, I would prefer Dune Part 2 wins it because, I love Dune Part 2. I would even rather see Nosferatu win, but it's probably going to go to The Brutalist. It's a pretty heavy favorite, so it's probably going to go to The Brutalist. So, but John, what do you think?
I personally, I think it is going to go to Dune Part 2 because I don't think Dune Part 2 won cinematography last time, so that I think might be more likely. And the cinematography is really good in that fucking movie. Really it's so good. And I do believe that I do believe that they will probably give it to that, but I would love to see Jaron Blaschke finally win cinematography, as he was nominated for The Lighthouse, but he lost to Sir Roger Deakins, which is fair. But at the same time, I do think that The Lighthouse was better cinematography wise than the Roger Deakins movie of that year. I think it might have been Blade Runner 2049. But I would love to see Nosferatu win. That would be amazing, but I don't think it will. I think it is going to go to Dune Part 2 because of but Brutalist is also up there. That might win it too, but my money is on Dune Part 2.
Okay. So before I give to my picks, I did look it up, John. The first Dune Part 1 did win Best Cinematography that year.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I just wanted to point that out. So anyway, for what I would love to see win, I actually put Nosferatu on there. I just love how they keep, I just love how you pretty much, you don't, you always keep Count Orlok, in the shadows and all, and you don't really see a whole lot of him, it's the shadow. Yeah. So it's really cool. It's really interesting. I really think it will go to Nosferatu, or I would love for it to go to Nosferatu. Yeah. However, I think the Brutalist has a bigger chance of getting this one. So the cinematography was great in Brutalist as well. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I wouldn't be upset if that won. But I think Brutalist has a stronger chance of getting it than the rest. So
and I was going to say that. Shit. Okay. Oh yeah, Nosferatu. But I mean, Robert Eggers did such a great job of using shadow in that film. It's almost like a black and white film.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why Jaron Blaschke did such a great job with The Lighthouse, because that's the thing that I loved about what Eggers did with that, and Blaschke. I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, but the problem I have with a lot of like Godzilla -1 minus color. I watched that movie. I'm like, it's still great. Don't get me wrong. But I'm like watching this. I'm like, this was never intended to be a black and white movie. I'm like watching it. I'm like, this is not filmed like a black and white movie. And you can tell they just put a filter over it. And that was it. But with stuff like The Lighthouse, that was intended to be a black and white movie, and you can tell it was supposed to be because of how it is shot, and it looks all the better for it, because there's a lot of people that don't put that extra bit. Like Mank is another one where you can tell it was not shot like a black and white movie, and you can tell it was not shot like a black and white movie because the cinematography of that movie was fucking terrible. Good movie, one of Fincher's weakest, but that movie was terrible with its cinematography because black and white is a whole different like area of filmmaking. You got to make sure that it's shot right so that it's not dark as fuck or over or like totally bright. Like I remember Freddie Francis when he was talking about doing the cinematography for The Innocents, and he was like, we had to like fucking like almost blast the set with light because of, and it was like all like candles and shit like that because we had to make sure to get it right. And it still looks spooky. And that's why I, give a lot of credit to like black and white movies nowadays that look as good as they do, if they are, because it just goes to show that a cinematographer knows what he's doing and can do that properly. So that's why I give a lot of credit to him and why I think he should have won for The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him win here as well. That would be great, but I don't think that will be the case.
Yeah. Rob?
For cinematography?
Yeah.
I thought we already went for cinematography.
No, sorry. We already went. I was just inserting my own.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
I was confused. I was like, I already said mine.
I didn't go
get
yet.
confused.
Oh, wait. Let Devin go. Let Devin go.
Go ahead, Devin.
Again, I want Nosferatu to win. I really wanted to win.
Yeah.
I think they might, honest, but I think they're probably going to give it to Doom Part 2. Yeah, it's weird. Like, why is Maria nominated for Best Cinematography?
I don't know, because I liked the film. I thought that
It looks fine, but it's
I
not.
thought it was mainly the acting.
Best
Because,
cinematography.
yeah, cinematography. I'm like, that's
Like
weird.
honestly, I could have seen like maybe them giving like Angelina Jolie an actress, not an acting.
Because it was probably because it was in Italy. So I mean, they just like looking at the Italy, So I mean, hey,
Okay.
but pretty sure it was set in Italy. But either way, but anyway, next we have Best Animated Feature. Best Animated Feature.
I was gonna say, is Kaylee here?
No, she's not. Dear God, she went back to her room. But Best Animated Feature. So for this one, we have for Best Animated Feature, we have Flow, we have Inside Out 2, we have Memoir of a Snail, we have The Wild Robot, and we have Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul. Me, honestly, for both, what I would like to see win and what I think is going to win is The Wild Robot, although all of them are really good. Wallace and Gromit was my least, Vengeance Most Foul was my least favorite, but I still liked it. It was still a good film. Memoir of a Snail was really, really good. That and Inside Out 2 would be, kind of fighting for second place there. But I think The Wild Robot, that was my favorite animated film of this past year, and I think it's going to win. So, John.
So with animated feature, I would really, 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 really want Wild Robot to win, and that seems like the favorite, but I still have my pessimism inside me, and I think it'll go to Disney, and I think they'll have Inside Out 2 win. However, this is one of the few times where I wouldn't mind seeing Disney win, because Inside Out 2 was actually a great movie. I wouldn't mind if any, like, Wallace and Gromit, Flow. I've heard great things about Flow. I wouldn't mind if any of them won. Honestly, all of them. This is a good race of animated films. It's not like this like one fucking East bumfuck thing. It's like, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah.
And then it's all five are great. I wouldn't mind all five winning. Wild Robot's my personal favorite. I think Inside Out 2 will win because of the Disney stigma. However, I wouldn't mind if either or any of them won. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So for me, what?
I literally said I wanted Wild Robot to win.
Okay, everybody is wrong except for John.
I literally said the same thing.
I don't believe.
Well, okay.
You didn't give it a 5, Mark.
You should have given it a 5.
Go ahead,
okay. All right. So, I think the Wild Robot will get this one. So, Kaylee will be happy to hear that. However, she's probably going to be upset that it's not my personal pick because you all know that Inside Out 2 is my favorite movie of 2024.
No, that's
Yeah.
That movie, but I will say this. This is probably one of the best selection of best anime feature
It
nominees
really
we've had.
is,
Just like honestly, I would love for any of them
so
to.
much
Yeah.
that I
I
know
would
how
love-
good it is.
It's a
Yeah. I would love for any of them to win. Even
And
like a.
if the Wild Robot wins, I will kill myself. I'm gonna put that out there. I
Don't
will
do
become
that.
suicidal very
Don't
quickly.
fucking do that,
Oh,
please.
dude.
kill somebody
But-
else. Don't kill yourself.
Let's not.
Kill the
the
actors.
entirety of the
Let's
academy.
There you go.
The
Okay.
entire academy.
All right.
Just,
Can I finish?
sorry. go
Yeah,
ahead.
sorry.
That's fine. It's fine. But anyway, this is one of the best selection. Like honestly, all of them would be very deserving. Inside Out 2 deserving, Flow deserving, Memoir of a Snail deserving, Wild Robot deserving. Like honestly, I think, and Vengeance Most Foul deserving, and honestly, this is like I think all of them. I pretty much gave like either 4.5 or a perfect 5-star for all 5 of them. Usually when it comes to this category, there's always like 4 great ones, and then one that's not bad is the obvious weak one. Like last year it was, and I know Zach's gonna kill me for this, but last year it was Elemental. The year before that was the Sea Beast. The obvious weak one. But this is one where all 5 of them are great, and I could see any of them winning.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but I would love to see Inside Out 2 get it. But I think it will go to the Wild Robot.
The one Disney film we would not mind to see winning.
Pretty much.
And keep in mind this, and keep one
No,
more
go
thing
ahead.
before, and
Go
keep in mind, this is coming from someone who honestly I'm with everyone. Like I'm sick and tired of the Academy giving Disney a hand job in this category, but I will give credit where credit's due.
Yeah. But Devin, close us out.
Again, this is like everyone's saying, this is an instance where I wouldn't be upset if any of these won. Inside Out 2, Wild Robot, Memoir of a Snail, and Flow were all on my favorites list.
Yeah. I mean, damn. Oh, really good.
Because yes, I put Inside Out 2 higher than Wild Robot, but I put Wild Robot down for both because I would really like to see DreamWorks get another win. Because I think the last DreamWorks movie that won was Curse of the Were-Rabbit.
Wow.
And I doubt Vengeance Most Foul will win because that's a sequel to Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Inside Out 2, that's a sequel. Unless you're a Toy Story movie, animated sequels don't really win.
Especially. Oh, sorry, go on. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
And with this, like the Wild Robot was just such a beautiful movie in terms of it's not just from its story, but its animation. Like that had the best animation out of all the movies last year. Like it was fucking mind blowing.
Okay.
And I'm happy that Adam Elliott is getting recognition. Like he got his nomination for Memoir of a Snail, which is absolutely fucking incredible. After he got snubbed in 2009 because he got nothing, no nominations for Marion Max, and he should have. He got his win for Harvey Crumpet. He should have gotten something for Marion Max. I'm happy Memoir of a Snail is at least getting a nomination, but I really do want it to go to Wild Robot.
Yeah, I mean, Memoir of a Snail was so good. Jesus, that was so good.
Yeah, and by the way, I was going to add on to what you said about like Inside Out 2 and Vengeance Most Foul, that there are sequels that they're not going to be able to get it. Not only that, but their predecessors already won. So that's another thing to add on to, is that both Inside Out and Curse of the Were-Rabbit both won Best Anime Feature for their respective years.
Yeah, because they tend to like something new, but understandable. But all right. So wait, is that everything? Everybody?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So all right, next. And for next, I made a little bit of an executive decision. We had Best Director next, but I just kind of moved that up to right before Best Picture. So figure doing best actor, best actress next, and then do best director, then best picture. So next we'll go with best actor. And for that one, the nominees are, oh, hold up, wait.
Pepper, who do you think is going to win?
Hold on. Here we go. For best actor, the nominees are Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, Timothy Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, Ray Fiennes for Conclave, Coleman Domingo with his annual nomination. The man is nominated every year because he's a fucking amazing actor. For Sing Sing, Sebastian Stan. It was nice to see nominated for The Apprentice. And honestly, I think it's going to be Adrian Brody. He is the favorite. I think it's too bad because I would love to see Ray Fiennes win because he has never fucking won.
Well, not according to those two idiots who didn't vote for him.
Dear God, what the hell? It's like what the hell are you thinking? How do you get to vote? You don't even know. Dear God.
These are the same people that didn't vote for Tale of Princess Kaguya because it was some Chinese bullshit.
Exactly. And this is the same reason that these people are the reason that they keep snubbing actors for so long because, oh, well, they're young. They'll get to win it some other time. And, oh, well, let's give it to this actor because we snubbed them enough, even though this is clearly not their best film, but we'll just give it to them anyway. So,
and more often than not, you snub somebody else who's more deserving of it.
Thank you.
Like when Al Pacino won for Scent of Woman. Don't get me wrong, that's a great movie and it was a great performance. But he snubbed Denzel Washington out of an Oscar for Malcolm X. And don't get me wrong, when he did finally win for Training Day, that was one of the few times where it was a deserving win. But personally, I think Malcolm X was a better movie and performance.
It was
as great as Training Day is, and that's a great movie for performance. But he deserved it for Malcolm X.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right, and you're absolutely right. Yeah, I think Malcolm X is a towering performance. It's an incredible performance. That's always going to be his best performance to me. But yeah, I think it's going to be Adrian Brody. I would rather see Ray Fiennes win. It seems to be a 2-horse race between Brody and Chalamet. Chalamet is with Dark Horse. He's really come up lately. There's been a lot of, he won. What was the one he won lately at the BAFTAs? I think.
Yeah, it was at the BAFTA. No,
was it
Timothy
SAG?
Chalamet won for the Screen Actors Guild.
SAG, which is a good indication.
Yeah, it was the Screen
Mikey
Actors Guild.
Madison won at the BAFTAs instead of
Mikey Madison won at the BAFTAs, yes, which is a good indication. SAG, they often follow the SAG wins, So I mean, it could be that Timothy Chalamet pulled off the upset here, which I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind seeing because he's a fantastic actor. Kaylee gets tired of seeing his face everywhere, but I mean, he is
fair.
He is a really good actor.
That's fair.
But I mean, anyways, John, what do you think? You kind of told us.
Yeah, I'm kind of in a similar boat. I'd love to see Ray Fiennes win. I mean, he did such an excellent job. I mean, that whole cast was excellent. Honestly, I kind of want to see because I think it's SAG. I think it's SAG Awards that have best ensemble. I'd love to Conclave because it's that's the sum of its parts is the reason why it was so good. Really, because it was all of them. Why that movie? Don't get me wrong, Ray Fiennes was great, but I feel like all of them encompassing were excellent and made that movie as great as it was. But with that, I think Ray Fiennes more than deserves it. I thought he did a great job. He did not win for Schindler's List, dumbass voters. He did not win for that.
Exactly.
So I'd love to see him win for this, but it's probably going to go to Adrian Brody. And it's not just because of those two idiots that weren't aware of the fucking history of it. But Adrian Brody, I think he did give a great performance, and I think he did a really great job in the role. So it's not like it's not deserving, but I think I do want Ray Fiennes to win, but Adrian Brody I think will get it. Not the worst, it's not like it's going to a bad movie or a bad performance, but just Ray Fiennes is so exceptional. And don't get me wrong, his legacy will far outlive a fucking statuette, a gold statue. So it's not that big of a deal, but in the end, I would still love to see him win, but Adrian Brody's probably going to get it, but both deserving, one a little bit more than the other, but we'll see when we get there.
Yeah. All right, Rob?
Okay. All right, so for best actor, Adrian Brody is pretty much gonna win this one, like easily. So no ifs, ands, or buts about it. However, my personal pick, as great of a job Ray Fiennes did in Conclave, I honestly think, and I'm sure that Kaylee's going to kill me for this, but I'm going to say Timothée Chalamet for A Complete Unknown, and that's because, and the reason is because watching A Complete Unknown, I keep forgetting that I'm watching an actor play Bob Dylan. You know, I feel like I'm actually watching Bob Dylan. You know,
Exactly.
it's like what this guy says that he loses himself in the
really
role.
does.
You know,
Exactly.
he blends in. You know, role. So I honestly just thought that he was just outstanding. I mean, I would be happy. It would be deserving if Ray Fiennes wins, but I would want Timothée Chalamet to get it. But in the end,
And I couldn't argue
we all
that.
know it's going to go to Adrian.
I couldn't argue that. And he is a hell of an actor. You know, it would be something to see somebody that young actually winning, because normally they don't. Normally they get snubbed for 20 years. You know,
I remember when there was an episode of Saturday Night Live where Timothée Chalamet was hosting and he was making fun of his little opening skit and all. He was making fun of like how he was getting nominated, and it's like his reaction to the awards of being getting annoyed, you know. Kind of thing.
Yeah. You know what it is in
just...
terms of people getting nominated and winning. It's because the thing is, people have said like that fucking the Academy hates Gen Z and they hate millennials because only 2 people have won who like recently in like the last 10 years who were born in the 90s. That was Jennifer Lawrence and Ariana DeBose. Only 2 winners who were born in the 90s in the last 10 years. So I think it's just like, oh, we'll give them the award once they're old enough that they become like the commonality that the Academy likes, which are older actors, which is like 40 and up, because they hate young actors apparently. So that's
although you know what, Michelle Yeoh got snubbed for Best Actress by somebody who was in her own damn film. Not with Michelle Yeoh. It was the other
Stephanie
one,
Sue.
Stephanie Shu, who got snubbed by she's another one, you know, who got snubbed for young actors, who got snubbed for in favor of Jamie Lee Curtis, you know.
I remember that.
Yeah. But I mean, which I'm glad, don't get me wrong, I'm glad Jamie Lee Curtis has won, because I mean, she's a great actress. She deserves
She
it.
shouldn't have won for that one.
Not for that one, no. But I mean, but Devin, what do you think?
For best actor, I would personally, I think they're going to give it to Adrian Brody.
Yeah.
But I would really like for it to go to Ralph Fiennes.
Yeah.
For Conclave.
I wouldn't mind seeing. I would love to see. I want to see Ray Fiennes so bad. But I mean,
someone a part of the Catholic Church that's actually a decent human being.
Yeah, really. I know.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, I mean, he did so. Yeah, I mean, like John was saying, that's such a great ensemble cast. I mean, Jesus, you have Ray Fiennes, Isabella Rossellini, Stanley Tucci, and John Lithgow. For fuck's sake, man! I mean, Jesus. I mean, that cast is stacked, man. Plus a lot of other actors too. I forget the actor who played the Cardinal from Africa. I've seen him in other things. He's really good too. But I mean, you have a really great cast there. But anyway, next is Best Actress, and for that one, this is another one I think is probably a lot. Demi Moore for The Substance. I would love to see her win, because I've loved Demi Moore since the 80s, and since she was in the Brat Pack, and I think she deserves it. I mean, although I would love to see Mikey Madison win, don't be wrong, I wouldn't be upset if Mikey Madison won, and she could pull off the upset, I guess. But I mean, but honestly, I think I would just love to see Demi Moore win. I think this is a case kind of like with the last one. I think I would love to see Demi Moore win, because it's really, really nice to see her make a comeback. you know, and although all the other ones did good too, as well, though I haven't seen, again, I'm Still Here, Fernando. Sorry, I forgot to mention the other nominees: Mikey Madison for Honora, Fernando Torres for I'm Still Here, the one I haven't seen yet, but which I'm sure is going to be good based on what you guys said. Cynthia Erivo for Wicked, who also did fantastic.
She did really good.
She did
I
amazing.
will not boo her.
Yes. And Carlos Sofia Gaston for Amelia Perez.
I will boo her.
Yes, and we will boo her. So, I mean, but the other four all did really, really great jobs. So, I mean, but I'm sure. But I mean, I think it's going to be me more, and that's the one I would love to see win. So, John.
I think I would like to see Demi Moore win, and it's possible she can. Because I mean, she has won the Golden Globe, and she's won, I think it was the SAG Award and Critics' Choice or whatever the hell it was. I just know she didn't win the BAFTA. That was the only one I know she didn't win.
She won the SAG.
So, it's possible she can, but like sometimes people are like, "Oh yeah, because they won here, it's a good indication they'll win the Oscars." But sometimes the Oscars really takes a left turn, and it's not something you'd expect. So I say that's I wouldn't say it's total bullshit. Like with Zoe Saldana and Kieran Culkin winning that much, it's like, okay, that's something. But sometimes you could just go complete left turn, and they, as I give my hand right, but you know what I mean. I think Demi Moore, it's possible she can win, and I would love for her to win. But I think I'm going to go with Cynthia Erivo because I think a lot of people like her. I think a lot of people, it is a musical and they tend to like musicals. And I think it's one of those cases where it's something I don't like, even though she did a great job throughout the whole movie. It's one of those cases where I think the Academy will award a performance on one specific bit rather than the entire performance, and that was the Defying Gravity scene, because that was the scene that nobody could shut the fuck up about and thought it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And, oh my God, it's Defying Gravity, Defying Gravity, Defying Gravity, blah, 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 blah. It's like, first of all, have you heard of Idina Menzel? Second, like that's like the one fucking thing that like everybody mentioned, and I feel like they're just gonna give it to her because of that one scene when it should be judged for the entire performance. And I think Demi Moore deserves it more because she gave an entire performance that was great rather than a good performance with one really great scene. So
a very tough performance too. I mean, very hard, very tough role.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, Cynthia Erivo did a good job. I think Demi Moore did a great job.
Yeah.
So
I think I would prefer to see her win, but I can see Cynthia Erivo. I could also see Mikey Madison winning.
Yeah.
So
yeah. All right, Rob.
Okay. So I do want. So for my personal pick, I want Demi Moore to get this one. She did a fantastic job. And I mean, as a dark horse candidate, I also would like to see Fernanda Torres get it for I'm Still Here, because she did an amazing job. However, I know that Mikey Madison has been having a stellar year, and I feel like they will give it to Mikey Madison for Honora.
Yeah,
so.
Very possible. I mean, so Devin, what do you think, bud?
I have Demi Moore down for both. Just she absolutely deserves it, and the fact that a lead actress in a horror movie is getting this much attention since maybe Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, exactly.
Like she's got to get this win, and I think she will get it. And the only lead actress that I don't want to see win is Carla Gaston, because here are the cool kids. We don't support predators, and we don't support racists. And even if somehow she did get a win, which we all doubt will happen, even then it would just be since she can't go to the Oscars, it will be more or less a we accept this award on this person's behalf because I mean, come on, guys, fucking Roman Polanski won an Oscar
Yeah.
for Best Director, and he's won a Fugitive.
Yeah.
And once again, it was the whole, oh, we'll accept this award on his behalf, despite the fact that he's, you know, a pedophile.
Yeah. But hey, but
It's got to go to Demi Moore.
yeah, I agree. I mean, I would love.
Like,
It reminds me of the buzz around Kathy
The
Bates
scene,
in Misery.
Misery.
That reminds me of because I mean, there's the buzz around her in that film was just like that big. It was just clear she was going to win, and she did. You know, because I mean, it reminds me
The
of
scene alone, where she's in the bathroom, she's constantly getting
that. Yes.
ready because she doesn't think she's beautiful enough. That scene alone,
Yeah.
proves that she deserves the win.
The whole thing. I mean, it's like John said. Just look at the whole performance. She's amazing and all. But Jesus Christ, from beginning to end, oh, she's incredible. But our next to the last one, and this is why I want to say this last, is right before Best Picture. You can't have Best Picture without Best Director. Best Director. So let's talk about it, guys. We have Sean Baker for Menorah, Brady Corbett for The Brutalist, Coralie Farjat for The Substance, James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, and Jacques Audiard for Emilia Perez. Best Director, I think it's going to be Sean Baker with the win, although it could very well be Brady Corbett. I think it's going to be Sean Baker for the win. He seems to be the heavy favorite. But I would love to see Coralie Farjat win for The Substance. I would really, really love to see her win. I don't think she is, but it's pretty long, kind of a long shot. But I would love to see her win. But I think it's going to be Sean Baker for Honora. And I'm not upset at that at all because I love Honora. It was a wonderful film, one of my favorites from last year. And I'm not upset at that at all. So well deserved. But I would still love to see Coralie Farjat win for The Substance because to me, she directed the hell out of that film. So, but John, what do you think?
I agree. I think Coralie Farjat, I'd like to see her win. You know, I maybe could see it. But I think it's tough because I think this will be one of the years where the Best Picture will not be the same as the Best Director. I do think Brady Corbett is going to win for The Brutalist, but something else will win for Best Picture because I can't imagine that the director for the Best Picture will win for Best Director. So I think Brady Corbett will win. Like the actor from The Thunderbirds might be winning an Oscar for Best Director. So who fucking knows? But yeah, I think Brady Corbett will win, but I'd like to see Coralie Farjat win. I'm probably butchering her name, but yeah.
All right, Rob.
All right, so this was another one I had to keep going back and forth with. I honestly would love to see Coralie Farjat for The Substance to get this one. However, what I think is going to win, it's honestly going to be between two directors. It's either going to be Sean Baker for Honora or Brady Corbett for The Brutalist. But seeing how the odds are, I think that Sean Baker has more of a slighter edge. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brady Corbett. But that's like I said at the beginning of the stream. This is why it's like this year was honestly kind of tough because it's like you have so many possible contenders since like anything can happen, with this one. While as opposed to last year, which was like pretty obvious. So, but yeah, I'm gonna say that it will go to Sean Baker. I feel like Sean Baker has more of an edge than Brady Corbett, but who knows? But I would love to see Coralie Farjat get it. So
Yeah. All right, Devin.
I have a feeling I'm probably going to butcher her name, but Coralie Farjat. I put her down for both. I want her to win. I think she's gonna win. Because even then, I'm pretty sure they would do it just for the whole agenda thing. Not necessarily agenda thing, but she's the first woman to be nominated for Best Director. Is she?
No,
I think she is.
No, not
She
even
isn't?
close.
not even
That's
No,
close.
Catherine Bigelow won for Best
Bigelow won,
Director.
Oh! I don't know why, because I kept seeing articles saying, "Oh, she's first woman nominated for Best Director." I mean, I've been out for a long time, so I'm a little out of it.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
But I want her to win. I think she's gonna win. Because you see, I know, we were all saying the Brutalist was gonna be the favorite, but I
Yeah.
think some of those points got brought down due to the AI thing. So I'm pretty sure that would. I don't know if that's necessarily on the director's part. But
Yeah.
I hope it goes to. I do hope it goes to Corley.
Yeah. Yeah. And so yeah, I agree. I hope it goes Corley. I think it's going to be either Sean Baker or Brady Corbett, but I would love to see Corley Farshot. I'm sure I'm butchering that too. I know it's French. She's French, but fantastic film. So I mean, I would love to see that film get awarded. Love it. But we've been trying to get here all night, and we have finally reached the end, gentlemen. Here's the big one: Best Picture. Best Picture, the last one of the night. And the nominees are Honora, Conclave, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Nickel Boys, The Substance, I'm Still Here, and Wicked. We have 2 international films nominated, Emilia Perez and I'm Still Here. And the favorites, it seems to be pretty much a 3-way race here between Honora, Conclave, and The Brutalist. And I think it's going to be Honora. The Brutalist was the favorite for a long time, and it could be Conclave because Conclave's chances have risen recently. And it's been going up, getting better. But so is Honora. Honora's back on top as the favorite. It was the favorite. Then the Brutalist was the favorite. Now it's back to Honora and the Conclave. So it's been all over the place. This has been, I think, the hardest one to predict. Much harder than last year, which last year was clearly going to be Oppenheimer. There was just no real doubt about that. But this has been actually a more exciting year. So I think it's going to be Honora, and that's actually the one. Even though I would love to see, the one I would really love to see in my heart is Dune Part 2. I know it's not going to win. It's not going to win. So I picked among the top 3 that have the best chance. I would love to see Honora win. So I mean, I did really, really love this film. So it made my top 5. Matter of fact, so I really loved it that much. So I wouldn't be upset at all to see Conclave win either. You know, The Brutalist, I didn't love it as much as everybody else did, but it would. I'm not saying it's not unworthy for sure, but I would love to see Honora win, and that's the one I think is going to win. But although I wouldn't be surprised at all if Conclave win, I wouldn't be upset at all. So, John, what do you think?
Boom. I think I'd love to see Conclave win. I know the horror fan in me would like to see The Substance win, but I just think that that Conclave is a much better movie, and I think is more deserving of the win. And I would love to see that win. I thought out of all the movies I've seen, that one was my favorite, and that one was the best in my opinion. But originally, I had The Brutalist. But now I believe that Honora is going to get it. That seems like the favorite. So I think Honora is going to win Best Picture. But I don't think, and going back to my Best Director choice, I don't think Sean Baker is going to get it because he's kind of a weird indie director. While Brady Corbett's a pretentious indie director, but I feel like because of that, he might eke out the win. So they can have like best of both worlds. How like, oh, Brutalist, we wanted that to win. But Honora is the better movie and blah, 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 and that'll win. So Yeah. I think Honora will get the picture win. Brady Corbett, the director. So yeah, but I would really love to see Conclave win.
Yeah, I wouldn't be upset at all if that film won.
So
Great film. Rob,
okay.
go ahead.
So for my personal pick, I put Doom Part 2 because it was like my third favorite film of 2024. But I know fat chance that that's actually going to win. I know for a fact that there's no way that's going to win.
Yeah.
So it's honestly kind of like you said. It's going to be between the Brutalist, Conclave, and Honora. But I feel like Honora actually has the slighter edge over both the Brutalist and and I think part of the reason, and I think and I think part of it was because I actually found out that the Honora has pretty much been slamming it for like the PGAs and the DGA awards. I honestly didn't even know about that. There was actually two guys I watched. It's called the Oscar experts. And they pretty much did make a point about like how it would that would actually give them more of an advantage to win, you know. So I feel like Honora has the edge over the other two. So I would, like I said, I would love to see Doom Part 2 win, but I know that for a fact that that's not going to happen. So
that's why I didn't even bother.
So, but I will say that they're
yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, boss.
You just want to get those. You just want to get those 3 points, don't you?
Honestly, yes. Yes, I do. It's one of the 3 points. I'm like, hell, there's no point wasting it. So, I mean, and honestly, I did really love Honora. So, I mean, I still think, you know, Doom Part 2 is still, that's my favorite of all of the last year still. You know, so, I mean, obviously, really fantastic films on this Oscars watch, you know. So, I mean, but Devin, close us out, buddy.
I wanted to go to The Substance. That was my second favorite movie of last year.
Yep.
But I definitely think there's, in terms of what's going to win, there's definitely the three-way battle between the Brutalist, Honora, and Conclave.
Yeah.
But I put down the Brutalist because they kind of has like a lot of the hallmarks that the Oscars like. They like movies that deal with racism, whether they handle it in a good way or they handle it in a bad way. Looking at you, Green Book.
Yeah.
And they love historical epics that are really long.
Yeah.
And they absolutely fucking love movies about World War II.
The Holocaust.
It's innately interesting. Well, World War II has a lot of moving parts. It's very interesting. Can you blame them?
It's tangential to the Holocaust. It's not about the Holocaust, but it's kind of tangential, you know, because I mean,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I like personally. I've always loved learning about World War II, but again, like they love their World War II movies. So this movie, like a 3.5 hour long historical World War II Holocaust drama epic. Check.
And they also love Adrian Brody. Let's be honest. They fucking.
What the hell have you done to Adrian Brody?
Exactly. Adrian Brody is a fantastic.
I think he has redeemed himself for what was it? Ghosted? What the fuck was that movie?
No, that was
I'm a farmer.
Whatever the fuck that was.
Farmer.
Whatever the fuck the name of that. I think it was. Wasn't it Ghosted?
It is Ghosted, but we just call it "I'm a Farmer" just because it's so funny.
I'm a farmer. Oh my god! What the hell? What have you done to Adrian Brody? My god! What the hell? Oh, that was so bad. Jesus. At first, I thought you were talking about the other one from last year, the one where they fucked over Henry Cavill. Jesus.
Argyle.
Oh god, Argyle. My god. Oh god, what an awful piece of shit.
All right.
The one that Kaylee actually literally walked out of the damn theater. His and Jack begged him to take. Let me go too. Let me go. So, Jesus.
Let me go check on him. Deuces.
But anyway, so
are we ready to wrap it up?
Actually, I wanted to do one more thing. Austin filled out his, so let's
okay,
go
let's
through.
do it. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
go through his.
Yeah.
I'll say
Okay.
them.
Okay then.
So we're gonna just go bottom up.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he filled them out, so that's why we didn't mention them. But then he said
Yeah,
in
I
the
didn't
chat,
either.
like, "Hey, what'd you think of my picks?" I'm like, "Oh, you filled it
Yeah,
out."
like, oh shit.
Okay. So for supporting actress, he just put Ariana Grande as someone he'd like to see win. He didn't put down anybody he think will win. So anyway, but that's the only one he did it for. Supporting actor, he'd like to see Edward Norton win, but he thinks Guy Pearce will win. For production design, he'd like to see Dune Part 2 win, but he thinks it'll go to Wicked. For original screenplay, he would like to see The Substance win, but he thinks it'll go to Honora. For adapted screenplay, he would like to see Conclave win, but he thinks it'll go to Amelia Perez. For visual effects, he thinks and would like to see Dune Part 2 win. For sound, he'd like The Wild Robot to win, but he thinks Dune Part 2 will win. For live action short, he'd like to see I'm Not a Robot win, but it thinks Anuja will win. Animated short, he'd like to see In the Shadow of Cypress win, but he thinks Beautiful Men will win. Original song, he'd like to see Never Too Late win, but he thinks Mi Camino will win. For original score, he'd like to see and thinks Wicked will win. Makeup, he'd like to see The Substance win, but he thinks Wicked will win. International, he would like to see The Girl with the Needle win, but he thinks Amelia Perez will win. Film editing, he'd like to see Conclave win, but he thinks it'll go to Amelia Perez again. For documentary short, he would like to see Death by Numbers win, but thinks The Only Girl in the Orchestra will win. He'd like to see No Other Land win, but he thinks it'll go to Sugarcane. For costume design, he'd like to see and thinks Wicked will win. For cinematography, he'd like to see and thinks Dune Part 2 will win. For animated feature, he'd like to see Memoir of a Snail win, but he thinks Inside Out 2 will win. For director, he'd like to see James Mangold for A Complete Unknown, but he thinks Jacques Audiard for Amelia Perez will win. Actress, he'd like to see Cynthia Erivo win, but he thinks it'll go to Carla Sofia Gasson. Definitely not. For actor, he'd like to see Timothy Chalamet win, but he thinks it'll go to Adrian Brody for The Brutalist. Then finally, for Best Picture, Austin would like to see Dune Part 2 win, but he thinks Amelia Perez will win. So those are Austin's picks. I said win a lot. If you did a drinking game with how many times we've said one, I'm pretty sure you're in a coma right now. But that
And even though Zach said he was going to participate, he hasn't filled out his ballot at all. So who knows?
So
Spoilers: he was going to put Deadpool and Wolverine in every category.
oh man.
Best live action short, Deadpool and Wolverine. Best documentary feature, Deadpool and Wolverine.
The making of Deadpool and Wolverine.
No, he thinks that like the behind the scenes of all the X-Men movies
Oh, there you
counts
go.
as a documentary short, so he thinks it'll still be liable.
There you go. All right. Well, join us tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, for our Oscars watch party, hosted by a main man down here, my fellow North Carolina brother, the one and only, the right dude. Wait, you're hosting that, right?
I was gonna say you're pointing the wrong way.
No, I'm not pointing down there. What?
It's
Right?
no other way because it's mirrored. Remember?
Yeah.
Well, damn it. Here, let me fix
Okay.
that shit right fucking now. God damn it.
Just saying. For the end of the year, that's got to be the next big group shot. All of us just pointing in different directions.
Exactly. Anyway,
All right.
this guy.
Yep.
So, anyway, see you
Hell
later,
yeah.
guys.
Later.
Thank
Peace
you for
out.
joining us, and peace out. Once again, we have brought light into the world. You're welcome, America. still here.